Because of Mr. Parkin's early morning work scheduling continuing, I have been asked to do this week's TNA review on my own. But before we get into this review, over the last few weeks we've heard that TNA have been releasing a lot of their talents. With this particular week we've heard the release of Bruce Pritchard, a man who's done a lot for TNA itself, and Doc, the guy who was involved with the Ace and Eight storyline and possibly turning base. So both releases, particularly this week, have been a bit questionable in my opinion. But with TNA doing what they can to save money that they're not earning, and the fact they talent they're not using or have future hopes for, why not release them? But this week, like I said, it's a bit questionable. Please share your thoughts on the recent releases, particularly this week, in the comment section below. And let's get a discussion going about that. But now on to the review, because this week was Destination X. The time where if it was a pay-per-view, we'd hope for big things, but the fact it's a show, we expect the same thing. After making it clear that Chris Sabin has no chance of taking the championship away from him, and how the fans should not be supporting him but arranging his funeral, Buddy Ray calls up Brooke Hogan. Once Brooke Hogan's out, she starts talking about how Buddy Ray has been tricking everyone, including her, and she's taking no more and that he's just move on. But Buddy Ray says they'll move on when he says they'll move on. And after all this trash talk Buddy Ray's been giving everyone, including Brooke, out comes Hogan to say, you've taken a lot away from our family, so I'm taking that World Heavyweight Championship away from you. Buddy Ray says this championship's going nowhere, and neither is my marriage with your daughter. Brooke Hogan managed to stop Hogan from coming to the ring to go after Bully, but Angle appears on the Titantron and says how the main event Mafia will be taking care of the Ace and Eights tonight. And the opener wasn't too bad. It had the right person opening, being Buddy Ray. It mentioned the Ace and Eights and main event Mafia storyline, and the continuation of the Brooke Hogan and Buddy Ray storyline. So this achieved quite a lot for an opener and set up the main event. One thing I really liked about tonight's show was the great and quality matches we were given. Like, for example, the first match of the night, which just happened to be my favourite match of the night, was a Bound for Glory series match between Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. And this match was very entertaining from start to finish. Great spots and great work from both wrestlers. And it finishes with Austin Aries finally hitting the Brainbuster to get the points to advance in the Bound for Glory series. Very good match. We had Dirt defeating Pete Williams and Homicide. It was great to see Homicide. I've been a fan of him. I've been a fan of Pete Williams and Dirt. So this match, I don't care who won. It was just there to put one of the members going on for next week's X Division Championship match. Next, we had Manic defeating Kenny King and Chavo. The thing about this is Manic, like we've said many times, should have just stuck with TJ Perkins. Kenny King, I don't know why TNA have delayed him or pushed him further back. Because when he first came in, if you're like me, you had hopes that he was going to be one of the ones to go for the option C, progress into the main event. But sadly, that's all been changed. And Chavo right now, he can talk the talk, but not walk the walk. Now we get to the main event Mafia and the Ace and Eight segment. First, we have the main event Mafia in the ring, saying how they're going to be coming after the Ace and Eights tonight. But to start off, why don't the Ace and Eights come out to the ring and face them like men? But the Ace and Eights, or Mr. Anderson, appears on Titantron saying, no, we're not going to do that. Just showing how bad the Ace and Eights are, that they're not going to come out and fight. but instead they call the main event Mafia backstage and come after them instead. With the main event Mafia being clever guys and main eventers, they go backstage ready for the fight. Once backstage, the Ace and Eights are waiting for them, including Buddy Ray, and locks them all in a room apart from Kurt Angle, who gets taken away as a hostage. Then we get Buddy Ray on the phone to a member of the Ace and Eights saying, "We'll do this Mafia style, make him an offer that he cannot refuse." And do we find out what the offer is? Not really. Next, we see the face of Trent Marsulio. He ends up defeating Spud and Rubix. And just like past X Division matches, you expect there to be good spots, an okay match. And that's what we got. But in the end, we've got our third member for the X Division Championship match next week. So it's going to be Dutt versus Manic versus Marsulio. An okay rounded match, I guess. We'll just have to see which one of the three is going to become the X Division champion next week. Share your opinions and thoughts on these three matches and who's going to win next week in the comment section below. Next, we have a comparison battle between our Knockouts champion, newly healed Mickie James, our number one contender, Gail Kim. We have Mickie James talking about her singing performance last week, and Gail Kim talking about her ladder match against Terrell. They start battling, insulting each other before Gail Kim says, "Well, the next step will be me taking that championship away from you." The two end up brawling, teasing their little moment for their championship match somewhere down the line. Good segment for the Knockouts. Before the main event, the last Option C winner Austin Aries gives Chris Sabin some prep talk about the World Heavyweight Championship, about this match, and how he's behind Chris Sabin going into this championship match. But I don't think this match was as good as Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode early in the night. But that's just my opinion. And this match, after the Ace and Eight and main event Mafia go and fight backstage, becomes about the hammer, which Anderson gave Buddy Ray earlier in the match. Because it's the hammer that gave Chris Sabin the win. After Buddy Ray tried to use it a few times, Chris Sabin uses it on Buddy Ray after he's about to get powerbombed. And Chris Sabin becomes our new World Heavyweight Champion. With me, I didn't think it was a bad move giving Chris Sabin the World Heavyweight Championship. I didn't think it was the worst match. But I don't think Chris Sabin's going to be too long of a champion. Maybe we'll get surprised and he's going to start getting fluky wins. But I don't feel that Chris Sabin, as much as he's a good performer, entertaining and stuff, I just don't see him as much of a big guy compared to Buddy Ray, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries eventually. Maybe Chris Sabin will surprise us. I think he could. But overall, it weren't a bad main event, and hail Chris Sabin. Now, as I wrap up this review to what I thought was a good show for TNA, I once again want to praise TNA because TNA are normally good at hyping up next week's show for a match or a moment. For example, this week we've been told we're getting an X Division Championship match between Dutt, Manic and Marsulio. Should be a good match, I'm expecting. The Knockouts Championship match between Gail Kim and Mickie James. And AJ versus Hardy for the Bound for Glory series. And as AJ labelled this match as, there's no place for a hero. So I'm looking forward to next week. We got some good matches lined up and the continuation of Buddy Ray, Chris Sabin feud, and as well as other things, other Bound for Glory series matches. But people, please share your thoughts on tonight's show in the comment section below. and I've been NJ, one half of the British Fist. What's up? Thank you very much for watching, and please, people, tune into the SmackDown review tomorrow night. And as always, keep smiling and goodbye.